in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pei.
And welcome. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio station KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, home to the Asian Oprah, and always broadcasting more than on AM FM with iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Tiki Live, Rumble, Amazon Music, and more. Podchaser, Streaker, Speaker. All why? Because I want to maximize my splatter zone for more hope and happiness. This is a show that balances out all of the negative news shows that are there ready for you to have you go, are people crazy or what's wrong with people? Instead, I want to bring you people, topics, guest series that balance out that bad news with good news. What's good about the world? What's good about you? And what's good about life? So I'm glad that you've landed here. If you're driving, please do not try to chat or comment or question in the streaming. But once you land, just go to my YouTube TV channel, free subscribe, and you'll get an alert every weekday morning that the show's coming on with something that you are going to want to listen to so that you learn something, and hopefully I get to up level your happiness factor. And we are very eagerly awaiting my guest today. You all remember, if you're young, you may not know this name, but in the 90s, he was the #1 mega bestseller with a book that a lot of people still refer to when it comes to relationships. And since tomorrow's Valentine's Day, I thought I'd bring him on this year as my Valentine's guest. And I'm wondering if he thought it was tomorrow at this point, because I was talking to his assistant, and it's wonderful. I actually got to, this will be his third or fourth time on the show, and I reconnected with him at Secret Knot conference that is put on every year by my friend, Dr. Greg Reid, who just brings the most amazing people. And when we reconnected, we actually went for a meal up in San Francisco and had some Peking Duck. Brought my daughter. He brought his new wife, who's Chinese. So it was a lovely time. So he's hopefully on his way into the studio. But in the meantime, we can do the breakfast, you all know, and welcome to Adego Outlaw, who is here in the stream. Good morning to you. And you can play along. Frank, my sound engineer, who does a fabulous job, he can also play along this morning as we have breakfast. And what do I mean by breakfast? It's called taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich. So Dr. Wayne Dyer, who's on the other side now, is also one of my teachers. He said, if you start every single day with 5 specific things that you're grateful for, you're going to have a great life. Well, I'm a bit of an overachiever. So 8 is a lucky number in Chinese. Those of you who know, we just celebrated the Lunar New Year on Saturday. That 8 is a homophone for good fortune. So that's why I say 8 things that you're grateful for the top of the bun, and 8 things that you appreciate about yourself for the bottom of the bun. So let's go ahead and start that. I am grateful for living in Southern California. It's almost always has the sun, and I'm solar powered. So I'm grateful for the sun, especially after a lot of rain, which is, we say we need it, so not complaining about that, but definitely grateful for the sun. What are you grateful for? I'm also grateful for both of my daughters. So there's two, Chloe May Carpenter and Sarah Way. Both of them are just beautiful inside and out, and I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to become a mom, not once but twice. And I love having girls. Sorry, no, I'm not sun bashing, but definitely love having girls. So that's three. I am grateful that I get to go on the water. Sailing season is coming up pretty soon, end of April, beginning of May, and I'm so lucky that I get to race sailboats. That's my passion and my hobby and my own therapy. I'm grateful for a roof over my head, food in my fridge, and money in my wallet. Those people who are, complaining about quality problems, I want you to remember all the time that we are one of the top 8% in the world that have those three things. So no matter what else is going on, there is, there's always something to be grateful for. I think Snoopy said that. And Frank's chiming in. He's grateful for his mom. Oh, that's so cute. Hello to Frank's mom. And you can take this clip, and it's a good thing for Mother's Day, right? Coming up. Well, not coming up soon. But anyways, that's it for the gratitudes, which is the top of the bun. And now we're going to go to the bottom of the bun, which is what do you appreciate about yourself? What do you appreciate about yourself? The reason why I do this is a lot of us are rocked when we get an insult. We are taken down when someone says something mean to us. We are, what's that word I'm looking for? We have a knee-jerk reaction to someone saying something or doing something, and that usually means we're going to look like a jerk. That's why they call them knee-jerk reactions. At least that's how I'm interpreting it. So when you know who you are and that you are 88% fabulous, 12% of the time you are human and step in it, then when someone says something, you don't take it so personally because you know who you are. So when someone the other day said, you are so self-centered, and I didn't react, and I took a breath and I said, I'm sorry you see me that way. And I can be selfish, but it's selfish in a way of self-love. And just because I don't want to do what you want to do or participate in what, that doesn't make me selfish. That means I am doing self-care. And I know that I can say that and not react and let them have their reactions, whatever they are, because I know who I am. I know that I'm 88% loving, 88% caring. There's two. 88% funny. That's three. I am innovative, enthusiastic, positive, no fear, and determined. So there's 8 things that I know that I am. That I know who I am, and as a result, I am very grateful to know that I appreciate who I am at the core of who I am. So that is the end of our gratitude sandwich. And thank you for joining me with that. I promise that if you do this for the next 28 consecutive days, you will build this good life habit and discipline to your life. So that is it for the gratitude sandwich. Let's and there he is.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
I'm so happy to be with you.
So nice to be with you as well. Always, Dr. Gray. I am, say hello to your wife.
Thank
And
you. Thank you.
yes, we just finished our gratitude sandwich just in time for you. And let me just give a formal introduction for those of you who haven't seen him on my show, I think 3 or 4 times now. You're one of my elite repeat guests. But for those who don't, I can't believe they don't know you, but we'll just go through a little bit of your bio. He's the author of the most well-known and trusted relationship book of all time, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. US Today listed his book as one of the top 10 most influential books of the last quarter century. It's in hardcover, it's the #1 selling book of the 90s. His books are also translated in approximately 45 languages in more than 100 countries and continues to be a bestseller. He's written over 20 books. His most recent book, Beyond Mars and Venus: Relationship Skills for Our Complex Modern World, has forever changed the way men and women view their relationships. He's appeared repeatedly on Oprah and Asian Oprah, as well as the Dr. Oz show, Today, CBS Morning, Good Morning America, and others. He's been profiled by Time, Forbes, US Today, and People, and he was the subject of a 3-hour special, I didn't know that, by Barbara Walters. He lives in Northern California, where for 34 years he happily shared his life with his beautiful wife, Bonnie, until her passing in 2018. They have 3 grown daughters and 4 grandchildren. He's an avid follower of his own health and relationship advice. So please welcome back to my studio, Dr. John Gray.
So happy to be with you. Also, now it's 5 grandchildren. Just had
Oh.
one. She just had her first birthday. So cute.
Oh, that's
I just gave a talk the other day, and I look at the feedback from people. And one woman said, I wanted to learn more about men. And since we're talking about grandchildren, what women should know with children, because so many women today are in the office and their husbands are staying home with the kids. That's a challenging thing. And just as one example, men and women respond differently to children. What happens, in a sense, we respond the same, but it's not always good for men, in that what we know is men have a different biology in order to make babies. Women have a different biology to make babies. And what that means is that every month she has to ovulate. To ovulate, her body regulates estrogen and testosterone in a completely different way from a man. If a man's estrogen levels are high, he can't make a baby. His testosterone will go low. And if a woman has low estrogen, if she has high testosterone, higher than normal, she can't make enough estrogen to make a baby. So these are realities of life, how we are different. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. And just a little tweaking our understanding can take away a lot of stress in our relationships. So when a man is staying home, he's actually doing activities that raise estrogen when you're nurturing a child. So I've got a quota for me of about 2 hours playing. We're talking about a baby here, not a little boy or a little girl you can throw a ball to, you can race, do things that stimulates testosterone. But just sort of crawling around the floor with them and playing with a little toy, that dramatically raises my estrogen. Anything that makes men feel more loving, estrogen goes up. But if their testosterone goes down, which typically happens if you're only just taking care of a baby, your testosterone goes down, you become exhausted and tired. That's why, so many women go, why isn't he attentive to me when he first gets home from work? Well, when he gets home from work, quite often he is exhausted, and because he's used up his testosterone, to put it simply. So he has to have some time to relax and rebuild his testosterone. There's a natural cycle that we all have. It's just 10 times more in men, which is action and rest, and then intimate action. So there's a dynamic. I serve the world, and these are extremes, but to get the point, I'm out there selflessly helping the world, which rewards me. That's raising testosterone, but it also uses up testosterone, and I have to rebuild it. And I rebuild it through relaxation. Now, if I don't use it up, just relaxing does not help me. Testosterone goes down. So you've got to work. So our work is so important. The number one reason men become depressed is they're out of work. The number one, or their wife is just not happy. If the wife is not happy, that job at home isn't working, because those things raise testosterone. And there's a lot of things you can do to change this dynamic. When a man is spending a lot of time with young children, his energy is going to drop. He's going to need to spend more time with men. He has to go out and compete with men. He has to go to the gym. He has to get away for temporary time. Once his wife comes home, he needs to get away, unless he can get away during the day while he's taking care of the kids. Unfortunately, most people, the way they get away from their kids is they put them in front of a screen, which is built in, causing ADD in our children today. It overstimulates dopamine in the brain, desensitizes. So now we depend on high stimulation and drama. So some people become, like we used to know. Okay, I'm going to give you a chance to talk.
That's okay. I love learning from you.
Whenever I get feedback on my talks, I want to improve my presentation, and I realize that my books don't always address this new phenomena of men staying at home raising children while their wives, even when you get pregnant, even when you have a little baby and you're staying home to help your wife take care of the child, this is still very important. His energy drains if he's only doing loving things that don't involve setting a goal, achieving the goal, taking action, facing challenge. And although it is a different challenge, but the challenge of not much action with a young child and a lot of love. See, this is why, this is Valentine's Day coming up, right?
Yeah.
And so hopefully he's going to plan a date. Okay. So you're going to plan a date. And what I suggest to couples is have Valentine's Day on another day so you can get reservations easier. But still, that's what my wife and I did. Why avoid the crowds? We'll just have Valentine's Day. We set our own day for the special romantic day. And sometimes men think, again, how do men think? They think, well, every day is Valentine's Day. I do everything I can for you. Isn't it enough? So if you say you want something special on Valentine's Day, he gets the message that he's not enough 364 days a year. That's why some men think, and most men.
Yeah, so I had that happen. I had that happen.
So here's what you can say. So everything is about good communication skills.
That's probably your assistant, because I was like, "Where are you? Where is he?" Here, I'll tell her. Go ahead. Keep going.
So this idea, one way of looking at it is just like, there's a holiday for men, which is Super Bowl Sunday, which we just had. Okay. And if women think men don't have emotions, watch a man watch Super Bowl Sunday. You're so emotional. Oh, no, yes, no, afraid, concerned, worried, everything. We have them. We just deal with them differently. In that sense, he's dealing it through his football team. Now, if a man learns how to process a woman's feelings, which means how to truly listen to her, he can process his own stress through her. See, that's how we do it. We do it through others in the optimal fashion. We'll put it that way. Most men don't know the optimal fashion, so we're left with TV and sports and movies. And movies are cathartic, and historically people could not really get in touch with their feelings so well. So we had drama. What drama is the theater, laughter and drama, which is sadness and loss and death. That's how we process, particularly men can more easily process their emotions. See, processing emotions means producing estrogen. So if you're not the one, if you're feeling the emotion out there, you can be observing it. And when you observe it, you're making testosterone. Anytime you're neutral, you have objective, it's not about me, it's about you. Then that's drama, that's movies, that's the news, other people's problems. For me, a big de-stressor is watching the news. It's other people's stupidity, not mine. Okay.
And that raises your testosterone when you're doing that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, that's funny.
This is what it does. It allows a man to relax, to restore testosterone, if and only if he's used it up.
You're right.
You got to use it up. You got to have a job where you use up your testosterone. And how do you use up your testosterone? You have to feel successful. So once again, you can go to work and you feel like it's a dead-end job. There's no passion. There's no motivation. There's no interest. Well, what's going on? You're not making testosterone. If you're not making testosterone, then you're not losing it. the whole idea of rebuilding testosterone is recovery. I learned this first when I was studying weightlifters. They have a lot of testosterone to build their muscles. And how do they maintain that big testosterone thing? They always have to have recovery. They have to rest afterwards. They can't work that muscle 2 days in a row, or it's going to degenerate. So you have to action, rest. But just resting without action doesn't work. Now, there's different kinds of action. There's the physical action, which is very easy for all men because biologically we have 25% more muscle cells than women. And some men biologically have way more. And so they have a more inclination to go to the gym, to jog, to various things. I'm not that way. During the lockdown, I went to the gym. By the way, I just want to say this because I like to share my truth. I went to the gym and I built up all this muscle mass that I've never had in my life. You have to put forth effort. Effort is another testosterone booster, by the way. You put forth effort. You put forth discipline. You endure pain without complain. Pain without complain. That's what working out in the gym is. You grunt and you groan. But oh my gosh, I got so much. 2 years shut down. I had some working out in the gym. Then I have my own gym at home when you couldn't go to the gym. Okay, so boy, I was all built up muscle. And then when I stopped, it all turned to fat. I had to start losing weight. And they say, no, muscle doesn't turn to fat. Well, however, all I know is I had this big fat belly and I had these big fat arms. It was, if you're gonna do work out in the gym, you have to commit to it, I'll say.
Yes.
But I figured out how to lose all that weight. People don't know it doesn't have to be so hard. I almost want to write, just don't eat snacks. That's it. If you just don't eat snacks, you can go for a walk or use your body at least an hour a day, 30 minutes a day. You will lose weight. The whole thing is don't eat snacks in between meals. This is the whole idea of the whole intermittent fasting where people go a long time. Well, I was doing intermittent fasting for a long time and I lost muscle mass due to that. And now if I ate food, I immediately had a blood sugar rush. You need fiber. Everybody's got diabetes, prediabetes, blood sugar issues. Anybody with extra fat's got blood sugar issues. You need fiber. So I started eating more. I just didn't eat snacks and I'm back to my ideal weight. And I'm not against fasting. I do fast and occasionally I do intermittent fasting, but you don't want to just do that all the time. Your body's designed to eat at least 2 meals a day. So when you eat your 2 meals a day, don't snack in between. And so, how to do that. Just, you want to eat, drink something, drink water. This is a key thing. Okay. So off of the diet thing, I'm just.
And let me just do a station ID before we go to the next topic. If you've just tuned in and you're wondering who I've got in studio today, well, you are tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA. AM 1050, FM 106.5, streaming everywhere, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, and of course, my YouTube TV channel where you can watch and listen for the last 618 consecutive weeks. And it is the home of the Asian Oprah. And in studio live today is, I think for the third or fourth time, a really wonderful repeat guest. He's taught me so much about life and love and relationships and women and men. I invited him on to celebrate Valentine's, which is tomorrow. We already have a show coming tomorrow. There's one of the women that was on Squid Games, the American version, is our guest tomorrow. But today I thought, well, I can't think of a better person to talk about love and romance and scientifically researched. Those that you don't know, when he's talking about estrogen and testosterone and all of those things, he's done a lot of work looking at hormones and their impact. So he's not generalizing. He's not stereotyping. These are facts built into the biology and the differences from men and women. So I'm so delighted to have him back here. We have a whole host of things to talk about. I'm going to let him keep talking because I want you to get as much as possible. He also has workshops. Those of you who are anywhere, well, actually you can fly in from anywhere, but I do know that he does these workshops that are really fabulous. This is one coming up very soon. I think is that this weekend? It's this weekend. Yeah. So
16, yeah, that's my 3-day workshop for
3-day
single
workshop.
couples on all about communication and relationships, how to improve your relationships. And then I've got a few more coming in and the next month, one on healing the heart, one on meditation called Radiant Mind, Open Heart. So that weekend I do one day on opening your heart, then I do the other day on radiant mind. So we need both those qualities, mind and heart. And I haven't taught those seminars in a long time. I used to teach them until my radiant mind and my open heart said, you need to teach differences between men and women. Because, the understanding that I teach helps us to communicate better so we understand each other better. Even if you have that knowledge, we still get triggered. Okay. And so you have to learn how to manage your own emotional upsets. So, for example, one of the big ideas is, well, when men go to work and they come home, they're in their cave. That's their time where they're not going to be intimate with you. And it doesn't mean it has to be right away. What I recommend to men is the first thing you do when you come home, before you go to your cave, take a few moments to find your partner, give her a 6-second hug, tell her you love her, and had a great day today. Don't talk about problems at all, and say, I'm just going to take some time for myself, and then let's talk. Okay. So you take care of yourself so you can give her 100%. If she just starts sharing about her day, you don't have enough testosterone to listen. What women don't know, for men to listen, they need to have high testosterone. If your testosterone's low, testosterone's energy of going out. It's penetrating energy. And literally, and also setting a goal. I'm going out to do this. That's testosterone. Now, women make testosterone. Women have that. It's just men need 10 times more. Otherwise, they're exhausted and tired or stressed or angry. All symptoms, the bad symptoms of men is always associated with low testosterone. So he needs that time. Then he can give to her the time she needs. Now, here's Valentine's Day. I want to come back to that one because it's very important. Because sometimes women get so triggered and so unhappy because he doesn't do anything special on Valentine's Day. So let's just cover that one first, and then how you can solve that problem. Mm-hmm. So here he is. He hasn't really planned anything special, and he already did that when he's dating you. What do I have to do that for? It's kind of like when I'm the lowest level on the ship, I clean the kitchen. But once I'm the exec, why do I have to clean the kitchen? I worked in a Jack in the Box as a little kid, as a teenager. I threw a paper out. But then I got to where I don't have to do that stuff anymore. I have higher responsibilities. So men don't instinctively understand the importance of this day. And people can say, oh, it was invented by Hallmark. It was, to some extent. And it's a money maker, just like Christmas is. But there's a reality to it. The reality is making a special day for her to remind her how special she is. Because women don't remember how special they are. They need every day. I tell my wife, I love her. She's beautiful. Oh, I'm so happy to be with you. I'm so glad I married you. These are the things I never stop saying. Infinitely, I'll say them forever. I always do that. And, if she says, oh, I already know, then she needs a little therapy. Every woman loves to be affirmed. We're talking about affirmation of who we are. Affirm your love every day. But particularly for men, words are cheap if there's no action that follows. For women, I meant to say. They want to see something. They want to have you be like you were in the beginning. Well, he doesn't have an instinct to do that. So it's exhausting, the thought of doing that. So he just doesn't do it. So all you have to do is amplify him. This is what we can do. I amplify my wife. She can amplify me. How can she do that? Well, it's already a little too late, but you could even do it today. Ideally, a week in advance. You could say to him, tomorrow's Valentine's Day, since this is ultimately be 2 weeks in advance, but we're the day before. So if she's a little late here, but just say, hey, honey, I know Valentine's Day is not a big deal for you. Every day is a Valentine's Day. I'm just so lucky to be married to you. But sometimes it just feels really good to feel like we were in the beginning. So it's not that I don't trust your love. I know you love me. I know you care about me, but this would be really, really special. You could even say, imagine you're giving a talk in front of an audience and they clap like this. And you did a good job. Imagine then they stand up and give you a standing ovation, same talk. You feel fantastic. You feel great. I live a happy life very much. But people walk up to me all the time and say I transformed their marriage, changed their lives, this kind of crazy stuff. And I'm like, okay, great. Just perks up my day. It's not like I need it or depend on it, but it amplifies. And that's what a relationship can be. That's what making love is amplifying the love you have there. Who wants to give up making love, right? So what men don't know, the power of women, arousal starts in the ears. It starts in the eyes. What's he doing for me? What did he say to me? Then gradually it goes down. So what we want to do is motivate him. Women think, why do I have to motivate him? I already explained. He already thinks he did that. Why do I have to do it again? So just let him know that, tomorrow's Valentine's Day. What would be really nice for me is that you go to the grocery store, get a dozen flowers. I love yellow, but if they don't have that, whatever color you pick will be fine. And now here's 3 restaurants I'd like to go to, and see if you can get reservations now. And if you can't, cook me a steak.
All right. So 2 comments. One is I did do that with a guy. I think I had 3 relationships where I actually was attracted, wanted the relationship to go forward. And that one, he was San Francisco. He not only did not come in for Valentine's, he also did not get me anything. And I said, I love flowers on Valentine's. And his response was, I don't give flowers and I never will. And I said, even though it is important to me, and he goes, I will never give flowers. So I broke up with him. That was the
good idea. Good idea.
Okay, yeah.
But let me say, let's say he just doesn't understand women. So you have to, a lot of men say stupid stuff because I already know who that man is. That's not really, but what that man is had some woman in the past who was demanding on him and never appreciated the things he did. Some women, you bring them flowers. Men make the mistake of when she's upset with you to bring her flowers. Okay, that's a traditional thing. And that's almost an insult to women, because sometimes they'll say, you think that's going to change make up for what you did? This is a resentful woman. Now, I'm not, and it's not a bad woman. It's just that a relationship where you're giving your heart on her side, you're giving your heart and it doesn't come back because he has no relationship skills. Then suddenly she has a lot of resentment. And then he tries to fix it with flowers and it's not good enough. Or she's a wife who complained, you never bring me flowers. See, complaining can ruin men, and as opposed to turning it around. And so here's a way I would, if you were like my counseling client, I would say, if he's really someone that has done other things for you, okay, there has to be a lot of other stuff to balance that he needs a lot of rehabilitation. So, but it's basically, do me a favor. Now, I know flowers are not your thing, but I have this insecurity inside, and it's easily handled with a little reassurance. And that's all Valentine's Day is. It's not like you have to give flowers, but something to remind me that I'm special to you, or that you really, really like me. And so here's 3 things you could do that are not flowers. Okay. And give him 3 things he can do, and you pick. And then, so what you're setting up, and maybe if he can't go with that, it'd be a few more things I could suggest, but he has to be a real winner. And that's his only hang up, is he doesn't give flowers. So realize, so many times women will come, he won't do this. I said, well, give up on that. Try this thing over here. Try this thing over here. You want to create a man in sales, it's called a yes set. People will be selling something, they'll be at a yes, and then the next one's a yes, and the next one's a yes. It's kind of like a flow starts to happen. And even as a salesperson, you want to say something that a person goes, yes, and a person says yes, and a person says yes. So, hey, how about we get started now? And he'll go, yes. So you get people in the yes flow. And this is with relationships. And I suggest for single women, don't go on this date in order to size up, is he the right man for him, judging him, picking him. Just go on the date to create a series of positive experiences. And you won't have a positive experience if you're constantly looking at what's wrong with him. So if you were to buy my house, if you were to visit my house, you go, wow, amazing house. If you were to buy my house, your brain goes into a bias towards negativity, and it only sees negativity. You can't stop it. You can't seek positive. You can't be optimistic. Your brain goes to that place, particularly depending on how much trauma you've experienced in your life or how much disappointment you have. Immediately, you're going to go into, oh, is he going to do this? Is he going to do this? Is he going to do that? So you want to create a yes set in your dating. So you find what was good about it.
That is a fabulous tool there, Dr. Gray, because what you don't know is I've started dating.
Congrats.
The last time we talked in the spring, I think when we had the Peking Duck meal, I was still on the fence. I spent some time talking to you. So 7 years of no dating has been broken. I've been on 3 dates. And that is a great tool to go into
Go into it without, is this the right one? Am I wasting time? No, you have to waste time.
I feel like that's what I'm not doing this time. I feel like I'm just going to have a good time to get to know somebody and just practice. And I have to say it's been going really well. Not well in the sense that I've met my person, but it's going well because I feel the positive flutters, or that, like, oh, what, I'm not futurizing. I'm not, putting his last name in my thing. But I do have a quick question for you as far as men and women. And I feel like that role reversal, or the strength of the independent women today, like I'm going out Friday. He's invited me out. He texted me the restaurant to see if it was okay with me, which I thought was really nice. Now, at the end of the meal, if I don't offer to pay to tell, can I help with that? I feel guilty. And if I do offer to pay and he takes me up on it, I feel like, well, I wanted him to pick it up because that's for me a very, loving, cherishing gesture, right? Even though, it's just a first date kind of thing. So how do you handle that? Talking about reversals, role reversals. Because when you wrote Men Are From Mars.
Yeah. Well, I have a book called Mars, Venus on a Date that covers a lot of this, and I want to answer that question. So you hold me that question, but I have to point out to people, as the Asian Oprah, I know Oprah's challenges in her dating experience or her love life. She's an interviewer. Don't interview men. You have to be so careful that you're not asking so many questions of men. If there's no conversation going, maybe you don't feel comfortable starting it. Many women don't. So ask them a question, because on your planet, you can't just start talking to a girlfriend. You have to ask her questions first. That's etiquette. That's just like, men don't do that. If I'm with a man, I'll just start talking about what I want. I don't have to say, hey, how are your kids? How is it? No, I just say, today I went and did this. It was crazy. So women ask questions, men answer, and then they think they're doing a good job by talking about themselves. And they'll just keep talking about herself. And then you'll think, he's so selfish. He didn't ask me any questions. We don't do that instinctively, most men. But when women instinctively keep asking questions, you feel so there's this plan inside, which if I ask questions, he'll get into me. He'll want to know me. No, we're not that way. If you want him to get into you, you have to basically talk. You have to share. And this is against what everybody knows. Everybody thinks, oh, women talk too much. Yeah, men say that all the time. But men can't get to know you unless they talk. And when men say women talk so much, what happens, what they're saying is, the men who say that, which is a cliche, which is they're complaining. And they're complaining about him. See, we have this experience of our wives going on and on and on about us if we're not in a good relationship. So you have to just share yourself, talk about your guests on your show, share about this. And occasionally, and I just wonder about this. And sometimes I'm frustrated about this. If you have any negative stress in your life, share some of that, but then also share a lot more positive. So it'd be like, oh, I was lost. I was like going through hell, but then I found my way. It was a great bright day. The sun was shining. See, you want to show a man, I'm a whole person. I've got emotions. I got feeling, positive and negative, but always end on the positive. I'm remembering if that was your question or not. Oh, that was what I wanted to tell you. No, you had a question. I knew you would help me too. What was your question?
Sure. So about the changes between when you first wrote Men Were More. Yeah.
Okay. So you go to the restaurant. Absolutely. You do not want a man who will say to you, let's share the bill. Unfortunately, some of these men are actually good guys because they've been taught it's offensive to a woman to presume that you're going to pay the meal. You'd be a sexist to do that. That's just so crazy. It's so confusing for men today. So don't offer to pay, for sure. Never offer to pay for a man. The second step is so you're not offering, you're sitting there waiting and the check is there. And he'll say, I'll pay, or he'll say, let's share. Often he's not a tightwad if he says, let's share, because he's been conditioned by our society to not know what romance is. Absolutely. Romance is he picks up the bill. And if you're this person who think, oh, we should all do everything the same. Do you know what happens when you do the same? There's no attraction. Attraction is differences. That's why nobody's having sex anymore. This is reality. 80% of the people aren't having sex. This is what I read about. And I'm not expert on how many people have sex. I know I'm having it every day. Okay. Because there's polarity. And that means you're feminine, I'm masculine. If you look at when a woman is most sexually charged, her estrogen levels have doubled. When is a man sexually charged, his testosterone levels have doubled in relation to her. I could be solving a problem. My testosterone levels double. Right now, it just doubled because I'm doing this interview, just shoots up. I got a challenge. I'm good at it. I expect success. All right. So there I am. That's testosterone. It's not sexual at all. But if my wife is making my testosterone go up, now it becomes romantic, attentive. He has energy going to her. It's a different kind of energy because you share a deeper level of intimacy.
Got it. So, and the good thing is he is older, so hopefully that he hasn't been that conditioned towards.
Let me say something else on that, because you said you feel guilty. Okay, a little guilty. Maybe because you have more money than him, whatever, or I'm not going to have sex with him. And that's a lot of women feel that way. They feel like, well, what? I'm over the overnight, one night stand thing, which is this ridiculous thing of the 60s. It was a lot of fun, but it didn't build relationships. So now, and women feel this huge pressure. I'm supposed to perform. Where did that come from? The sick society we're in. You should have sex only when you feel you're in an intimate relationship. He cares about you and your body wants to do it, not out of obligation. Sex should never be out of obligation. But then you still need to find a sexual partner. That's a good thing in life. That's an extra joy of life. So don't rush into it. But there's this feeling, well, what am I giving to this date? He's planned this date for me. He's done this thing for me. What am I doing? What you're doing is having a good time. Women don't realize the power of love for men. Having a good time is like a check in the mail for him. You know, I work, but I want to check in the mail. I want some benefit coming. I want some appreciation for that. Men thrive on that. What builds testosterone is feeling I made a difference. Okay, I made a difference. So if you're happy, if you're enjoying the food and you want to really pay him back for treating you this little dinner, a nice equal tip for tat. He paid for this meal. What you do is take a few moments to talk about how good the meal was. And that was amazing. I've never been to this restaurant. It was fantastic. The soup was wonderful. And if you can't say that, fake it. At least don't criticize it at all. Practice being Miss Wonderful, happy about nothing. That's a huge gift to him. You know, men are so used to stressed women, and not all women are stressed, but they're so used to, particularly single men, because they haven't found the women who they can love. So they're stressed, and they just, their brain, it's not her fault. It has a bias towards negativity. She can't. And here's another thing, which is when women talk, why do they talk about things? Women, cavil, I think is the word. Anyway, they talk about this person, they didn't do that. You know, a lot of complaining about life and whatever. Why do they do that when they do that? Some women go, I never do that. Okay, you don't do that. Okay, I'm not saying every woman, but so many women do. And why do they do it? Because it produces estrogen. That's why women go to therapists. 90% of the people who go to therapists are women. They talk about their problems. Talking about problems raises estrogen. It's not the only way to raise estrogen, but it's one of the most powerful ways is to talk about problems. The problem with that is they don't talk about problems and then balance it. See, it takes an act of will to focus on negativity for a little while and then go to positivity. And we're designed to look at both, but it takes practice to use all of your brain. It's like if you don't exercise your muscles, you don't get muscles. The prefrontal cortex of the brain, the left side always sees the positive. The right side always sees the negative. Okay, so this is biology. We're supposed to use our whole brain here. So talk about the negative, but always end up on the positive. Then men feel like, oh my gosh, I feel like I have a chance with her. Because most men who are single as they're adults, they've been in relationships, they got out of the relationship. The number one reason men leave relationships, what they tell me, is no matter what I do, she's never happy. She's not happy. You get a woman that I can make happy, but it doesn't mean she's not happy all the time. It's that she's happy with me. See, my wife, I can listen to my wife be unhappy about other things as long as she's happy with me. That's what men care about, which is, am I making a difference? So if you're unhappy about something, let him know, gee, I feel so much better because now I've talked about that. I can let it go and have a nice evening. Well, what just happened is she was being negative and men go, oh my God, negative. But if he has the experience over and over that afterwards, she feels better and she thanks me, all right, I got muscles here. That's
Mhm.
not my job. I've never burned out as a counselor. I don't need to counsel anymore. I teach seminars around the world, write these books. People are surprised. What do you still counsel for? Because it's like you want to hear people's problems all day. I thrive on it when I do it. I do it every week. Why? Because I get to experience on a personal level making a difference in people's lives. To help people in their lives is such a beautiful thing. That's what we're here to do.
Absolutely. And if you've just tuned in and you're wondering what's going on in the studio, it is Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, and of course, my YouTube TV channel, Central, where you can watch not only my past 3 interviews with Dr. John Gray. You can tune in right now and say things like hello and welcome to the Cashew Gallery. Maria is in the house right now. I'm sure you will appreciate the guest today, Dr. John Gray, mega best-selling author of the #1 book, romance or a relationship book in the 90s, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. And we're already into the last 8 minutes of the show, Dr. Gray. It always goes so fast. I want to make sure we talked about your relationship workshops. You're doing, you just came out with another new thing to help enhance not only our relationship health, but our own health. So I want you to talk about that before we run out of time.
Okay, very, very quickly. When I turned 50, I'm 72 now. I'm healthier than I've ever been. My sex life is better. My love life is better. My family, it's all grown. This stuff helps you grow in love and health and vitality. But I wasn't always great about my health. I overworked. During the 90s, I was I was all around the world, traveling the world, and it overstimulated my brain, just like any kind of drug, really. And that, for me, caused Parkinson's. And had early stage Parkinson's. And so I stopped all this overstimulation. I created a wellness center. I brought in doctors, natural doctors who don't use drugs, and healed it. Okay. And so I learned a lot. I spent 7 years learning all about wellness and health. But during that time, the most important thing I learned is, and I don't do that anymore, but the most important thing I learned is for people's mood, lithium orotate is one of the best things, because when you eat a lot of sugar, and most people do, they lose that mineral. You don't need much of it. Doctors would give it for manic depression, lithium, but they use lithium carbonate. You had to use 50 times the dose, 50 times the dose. So that's going to be toxic. But it worked, but it was 50 times the dose. So it has effect on your thyroid. The normal amount of lithium is great for you. And that's just like 5 milligrams a day. If you're really depressed, 10 milligrams a day. I've given it to people for 25 years, never had a negative side effect. It's fantastic for mood stabilization, good mood most of the time. Bad mood doesn't get worse, doesn't crash down. So more amazing. So you can buy it now. Now I popularized it because it's only costs, like $16 or something, is the cheapest supplement in the world. Nobody can make money off of it. So what you do is people sell it all over the place. Well, this is the product. It's called orotates. So a German doctor discovered if you bind it with orotic acid, orotates, it goes into the brain. You only need the right dose, which is like 5 milligrams, 4.5 milligrams. Then I combined it with all the other things that everybody knows is good. Everything people know, ashwagandha is good, it helps you relax, it gives you motivation. Bacopa is good for mental focus. Rhodiola rosea is proven to decrease dopamine and serotonin levels. The lithium helps to balance that. These are like amazing supplements. Berberine, my favorite supplement for balancing my blood sugar. I used to have high blood sugar, berberine every day. So they all synergize together to have an amazing effect. It's just one bottle. It's the only supplement, pretty much the only supplement I take. There's a few others I do as well, but this is the most important. So I highly recommend people go to Amazon. They can get this product, one for men, one for women. There's not that much difference. It's just that the men have more zinc. Zinc is really important for their testosterone levels. And as far as the adaptogens, the more calming ones, ashwagandha, we have more for women than for men. And there's a lot of other things. There's saffron in there, which is known to reduce the cravings, which helps you to give up snacking. Snacking is the worst thing. Drink nice drinks, have water. You can drink, always put minerals in your water though, or electrolytes. You want to put a little salt, good salt in your minerals and your water. and you drink water and get in the habit. It takes 2 weeks to get in the habit, and you stop snacking, and you'll start losing weight. You'll be trim, and make sure you're doing exercise. Make sure that you're doing your walks. It doesn't take a lot, just taking a walk. So profound. There's another technique. My friend Dave Asbury teaches it, and I also used to teach it a long time ago, which is the intensification. Just run for 20 seconds, be out of breath, and then practice breathing deep breaths for about 3 minutes. And that's it. It's more powerful than jogging and all this other stuff. This is new science technology that helps our body helps us understand our body better.
Fabulous. Really, really good information. And that is available on Amazon. I'm going to put the links in the chat.
The links are there. People can go to my website, marsvenus.com. And there's right on the front page, just say, it will click you to Amazon where you can buy it. It's pretty simple. And people can find a lot of resources, because we only talk for an hour. It seems like 5 minutes because we cover.
I know, right?
My blogs, they're 20-minute blogs. I do them with my daughter, Lauren. They're amazing. And there's so many of them. I put it all out there, even though people think, well, what more could I learn at a relationship workshop? What more you can learn as I work with people, you see real life problems, and I'm seeing you how you apply this information to the situation. But we do our best to give you everything we can at marsvenus.com. And my best course on marsvenus.com is called Understanding Men, for women to understand men and for men to listen to his wife if she's taking it. These are amazing courses. There's other ones too. There's one on great sex. There's one on women.
Yeah, I saw that one. Secrets to Great Sex. There it is.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And there's your daughter. And so, yeah, please go to marsvenus.com and you can get so much. Here's all the 20 books. And it's great. I highly recommend the one on dating. That's the one that you recommended to me last time as well.
Mars Venus on a Date. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. So last time you told me that I was leading with testosterone, and I have tried to not do that as much and, go in, this is who I am, this is what I do, but just sort of take that. I'm learning that it's not necessarily the back seat, because that's why I was like chafing at it. It's like, but this is who I am. It is just really allowing, if I want an alpha man, I have to make room to give that space to the alpha man, right?
And also, let me talk about alpha woman, the real alpha woman, in my opinion. Alpha man has, and women who are alpha women are really alpha men in a sense, is that they're out there, they're achieving, they're directing, they're making things happen. That's one power, the power I can make things happen. You make things happen, okay? You're a go-getter, all right? But the other power is the feminine power, the power to get other people to do things for you. Draw in the support. That's a power.
Yes.
It's like amazing. I mean, as an author, my power is I write good books. I've got information. It takes hard work to do. I promote. But I attract a lot of people to read my books. Okay. I attract it in. I have other people reading my books. That's a power to have other people do things for you. Buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. I have a team of people. Delegate responsibility. Don't overwork myself. Never feel that I do everything and I don't have enough time. That's one of the problems. I do
and Dr. Gray, I'm sorry I have to cut you off. We are out of time, but I wanted to show you. He's kind enough to give all of y'all who are listening now or later a gift, how to get everything you want in relationships. This is hashtag Asian Oprah giveaway. So please go to this link. I'm going to put it in it's just marsvenus.com/gift. And that's an Asian Oprah giveaway. That is because you tuned in today. I'm so delighted to have had you back. I love you. I love your wife. Please give her my love. And I just so appreciate you coming on again. Thanks for all the information. It's all about balance, folks. My peace sign thing, Dr. John. Peace in, peace out. World peace through, inner peace. Now go and have the best day before Valentine's Day or Single Awareness Day ever. We'll see you tomorrow.